Hello, I am Rajendra Bade, and in this video, we are going to solve problems on stress and strain, axially loaded bar of uniform cross sections. Let's start. Now watch, here is a bar of uniform cross section. It is hollow bar. It has certain internal diameter, it has certain external diameter. The applied force is along the axis of the bar. This force is perpendicular to the cross section of the bar. One more thing I want you to remember, this force, even if it is shown at the center of the cross section, where actually there is no material at all. Remember, load is carried by the cross section. It is distributed force. And what we have shown here, the force, that is a resultant of the force taken by the entire cross section. Okay. So this force is a pull type of force. Remember, normal force, that is perpendicular to the cross section force, is either pull type of force or push type of force. Now, to solve problems today, we are going to use these formulae. Stress, this is a normal stress, that is stress perpendicular to the cross section, and that is force perpendicular to the cross section divided by the cross sectional area. Remember, for the calculations, we are going to use loads in Newton, area in millimeters squared, or dimensions in millimeters, and stress will get in Newton per millimeter squared. That is nothing but megapascal. 1 Newton per millimeter squared, that is 1 megapascal. Okay. Now deformation, that is change in dimension along the axis. Force is along the axis, and change in length of the bar along the axis, that is along line of the force. This is change in length of the bar. PL by EA. P is applied load, L is length of the bar, E is Young's modulus of material of the bar, and A is cross-sectional area of the bar. To find deformation, you can use this formula also. Deformation is sigma L by E. In this formula, simply we have replaced P by A by stress, sigma. One more thing, don't forget, that is stress upon strain, that is Young's modulus. Read this problem. A solid steel rod of diameter 10 mm and length 30 cm is experiencing 6 kN axial pull. Pull, that is tensile force it is. Find stress in the rod and change in length of the rod. Young's modulus of steel is 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter square. That is nothing but megapascal. Okay, let's proceed. What is cross-sectional area of the bar? Pi d squared by 4. So this is how we have found out cross-sectional area. Now I have a suggestion for you. While watching this video, keep calculators with you. If required, pause the video and do these calculations yourself. You will able to gain maximum from this video series. Okay, so we have found out area. Now this is length in millimeter. Length is given 30 centimeters and here length is 300 millimeters. Applied load is 6 kilonewton, that is 6000 Newton. And information is Young's modulus 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter square. Remember, even if the problem is simple, while solving problem, the instructions I gave you are very important. So that while solving problems of complex nature, you will not face difficulties at all. Watch the video up to the end. So stress is P by A, put the values. Load is in Newton 6000, cross-sectional area in millimeter squared, and you got stress 76.39 Newton per millimeter square. This is very important. When you talk about a normal stress on a cross section, you should always mention whether it is tensile force or compressive force. In this case, it is tension because it is pull type of force. Okay, now to find change in length of the bar, delta, that is change in length, PL by EA. P is the load, L is length of the bar, Young's modulus, and cross-sectional area. Let's put all these values. But one more thing, you may use this formula. I'll prefer this formula. You will understand why as you go on studying all these problems. So delta is 6000 into 300. What is that? Load into length of the bar, Young's modulus, and cross-sectional area. Just we have substituted the values and we got deformation. So 0.1146 millimeters. This answer is not enough. You should mention whether it is increase in length or decrease in length. So this is what you should know. If it is increase in length, we say it is positive change in length. If it is decrease in length, we say it is negative change in length. This sign convention you will have to use when you want to add deformations of bars which are in series. You will understand it better when we'll start solving problems on composite bars. Okay, but remember, positive change in length, that is increase in length, negative change in length, that is decrease in length. Also, stress, when you want to add normal stress acting on a cross section, and if there is normal stress because of different types of loading and you want to add all those stresses, you will have to consider sign convention. Tension is considered positive, compression is considered negative. Remember, the problem we are solving, it's very basic problem on stress and strain. But right now what I'm telling you is very important. When problem is of complex nature, remember, when you add normal stresses because of different types of loading, tension positive, compression negative, remember this. Okay, let's proceed for the next problem. Read this problem. A hollow copper rod of external diameter 40 millimeters and internal diameter 30 millimeters has a length 12 centimeters. If permissible compressive stress is 50 megapascal, watch here, permissible compressive stress, that is stress in this copper rod must not exceed this value. So for permissible compressive stress 50 megapascal, find safe compressive load on the rod. Also find a change in length of the bar under the corresponding load. Young's modulus of copper is 1.1 into 10 raised to 5 megapascal. Megapascal is nothing but Newton per millimeter squared. Area is pi d squared by 4 if it is solid cross section, but it is hollow cross section. So pi d squared by 4 outer cross section, consider outer diameter, minus pi d squared by 4, that is removed cross section. So in the bracket it should be outer diameter squared minus inner diameter squared. So complete all calculations, and this is how we have found out cross sectional area. Now here is that copper rod. It is hollow cross section. Lower end is fixed, or you may say that it is resting on floor and it is vertical rod. It's not mentioned here. But in any case, when you apply a force on the rod, there will be reaction on the other side. So rod is under compression. Now length is 120 millimeters. Stress is given. This is safe stress, 50 megapascal. Stress must not exceed this value. And Young's modulus is 1.1 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter squared, nothing but megapascal. So stress is P by A. When you use safe stress, and this is that safe stress, maximum permissible stress, maximum allowable stress, that is also called working stress. That is, in working condition, stress must not exceed 50 megapascal. So when you use safe stress, you get safe load on the member. So how this problem is different than last problem? In the last problem, load was given, and under the given load, we found out stress and elongation of the bar. In this case, safe stress is given, and we are asked to find out what is safe load on this bar, and that is what exactly we are finding. This is safe compressive stress here we are going to put, and we'll get safe compressive load on the bar. So substitute the values. Maximum permissible stress is 50. Cross-sectional area is 175 pi Newton per millimeter square. Take care of units. And this is how we have found out safe compressive load 27,489 Newton, that is nothing but 27.49 kilonewton. What else is asked? Find a safe compressive load on the rod. That is what we have found out. Also find change in length of the bar under the corresponding load. Okay, let's find out. This is change in length. You may use this formula if you wish. Okay, let's proceed. So delta is load in Newton, length in millimeters. Young's modulus is in Newton per millimeter square, and cross-sectional area in millimeter square. And this is how we have found out 0.054 millimeters. Under this load, 27.49 kilonewton, this should be the change in length of the bar. And since it is compressive load, it will be decrease in length of the bar. So you should mention in your answer. It's very important. So second type of problem, safe stress is given and we have found out safe load on the member. Now read this problem. A steel wire of diameter 3 mm has length 10 centimeters. Refer the figure. So this is that wire has diameter 3 mm and length 10 centimeters, that is 100 millimeters. If yield stress in steel is 250 megapascal, if yield stress in steel is 250 megapascal, do you know what is yield stress? It is the stress at which plastic deformation starts. So this is not the safe stress, it is a stress at failure. When plastic deformation starts, that is failure of the object. Remember, this is not safe stress. Find maximum mass that can be suspended using the wire if factor of safety is 2. So you are asked to find maximum mass that can be suspended. Okay, so what is very important to understand, when you want to find maximum mass that can be suspended, you must know maximum stress we can allow. So allowable stress, also called permissible stress or working stress, is yield stress divided by factor of safety. So here factor of safety comes into the picture. You cannot allow that load which creates stress 250 megapascal, because at 250 megapascal plastic deformation starts, yielding of the object starts. Okay, so let's proceed. Write data first. Area pi d squared by 4, diameter is 3 millimeters, length 100 millimeters, it's given 10 centimeters, but remember in our calculations we are going to use forces in Newton, dimensions in millimeters. Okay, let's proceed. Also find vertical displacement of the lower end of the wire under this weight. When you attach this weight, actual wire is 10 centimeter long, but because of that weight, there will be increase in length of the wire and we want to know it. Modulus of elasticity is 210 GPa. GPa, that is gigapascal, and we want Young's modulus in megapascal, so it will be 210 into 10 raised to 3 megapascal. So this is what safe stress is, yield stress divided by factor of safety, that is 125 megapascal, and Young's modulus is 2.1 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter square. So its same value in megapascal we have mentioned here. Let's proceed. Stress is load on the cross section. So this is axial load for this entire wire. So stress is force upon cross sectional area. Now stress is given. This is stress, safe stress, or this is working stress. So when you use safe stress in this formula, you get safe load. So this is how we have found out safe load. So weight is 883.5 Newton. This is the maximum weight you can suspend here. Okay. Now we are asked to find mass. So be very careful when you write final answer. So divide weight by gravitational acceleration g, 9.8 meters per second square. So weight divided by g, and this is how you have found out mass in kilogram. So this is the mass you can, maximum mass you can hang using this wire. Now, what else is asked in the problem? Vertical displacement. So watch here, vertical displacement. So when you hang this load, wire extends. This is elongation of the wire. So use the formula. Delta is PL by EA. Here we have used notation W, that is load on the wire is load W. So 883.5 Newton, that is load on cross section of the wire, length of the wire 2.1 into 10 raised to 5, that is Young's modulus of the wire, and cross sectional area. Just substitute the values and complete the calculations. Now this is very important. You are asked to find vertical displacement of the lower end of the wire. Displacement is vector quantity. So when you write vertical displacement, whether it is upwards or downwards, you should mention in the answer. So 0.059 millimeter downwards, that is the displacement of lower end of the wire. Read this problem. A steel wire of diameter 3 millimeters and a copper wire of diameter 5 millimeters are used to support a load W. Okay. In figure, okay, as shown in figure. Now read this problem. A steel wire of diameter 3 millimeter and a copper wire of diameter 5 millimeters are used to support a load W as shown in figure. Watch the figure. Steel wire and copper wire. What maximum load can be supported if permissible tensile stress in the steel wire is 130 megapascal and permissible tensile stress in the copper wire is 95 megapascal? Like in the last problem, here also you are given safe stresses in these two materials and you are asked to find out what maximum load that can be suspended. Now try to understand. To find the safe load here, there are two conditions. Listen to me very carefully. To find a safe load here, there are two conditions given. Which are the two conditions? Stress in steel wire must not exceed 130 megapascal and stress in copper wire must not exceed 95 megapascal. So we are going to find a value of load W that creates stress 130 megapascal. That is of course safe load for steel, but it may not be safe for copper if the same load creates stress more than 95 megapascal in copper. So how you are going to tackle this problem? Try to understand. Area of steel, pi d squared by 4, 3 millimeters is diameter of the steel wire. Stress in steel must not exceed 130 megapascal. Remember, this is not stress in this steel wire. Try to understand what I am saying. Stress in this steel wire depends on what load you hang here. If there is no load here, stress in steel wire 0, stress in copper wire 0. So actually here in this situation, what is stress in steel? We don't know. This is the condition that it should not exceed 130 megapascal. That's all. So this is not induced stress. It is just one condition given that stress in steel must not exceed 130 megapascal. Area of copper, again same formula, pi d squared by 4, diameter is given. It is circular cross section. So we have found out it in millimeter square. And permissible stress in copper is 95 megapascal. If load W is suspended using these two wires in this manner, how much will be the load on steel wire and how much will be load on copper wire? That is, what is tension in steel wire and what is tension in copper wire, we'll have to find out. Because this load W is shared by these two wires. So out of this load W, how much load is shared by steel and how much load is shared by copper, we'll have to find out. So how to find tension in steel wire and tension in copper wire? So what you have studied in statics, draw free body diagram. So let's draw free body diagram of the point where these two wires and of course this load meet. So FBD of the joint. So FBD of joint, this joint we are talking about, where the load, then steel wire and copper wires meet. FBD of a joint is concurrent system. That is why this is x-axis, y-axis, and intersection is the joint. This force exerted by steel wire, it is pull type of force. It is wires. It is a wire. Wires are always in tension. Copper wire, insert immediately the angles. And load W. So these are the three forces acting at the joint. So we'll find tension in steel in terms of W. We'll find tension in copper in terms of W. That is what we want to find out. This is load W. Because of this load W, how much load is on steel wire and how much load is on copper wire. Now to find these two, well, tension in steel and tension in copper, you may use conditions of equilibrium sigma fx equal to 0, sigma fy equal to 0. Or because there are only three concurrent forces in equilibrium, you can use Lami's theorem also. What is Lami's theorem? If three concurrent forces are in equilibrium, their magnitudes are proportional to sine of opposite angle between the other two forces. Okay, so here I am going to use Lami's theorem. You may use sigma fx equal to 0, sigma fy equal to 0, these two conditions of equilibrium. So do these calculations with me. If required, pause the video. It's very important to have calculation practice also. So by Lami's theorem, tension in steel divided by sine of opposite angle between other two forces. So this angle, watch here on your screen, it is 90 plus 45. That is equal to load W divided by opposite angle between the other two forces. So it is 60 degrees here and 45 degrees here. So 60 plus 45. And tension in copper wire divided by sine of opposite angle. It is 90 plus 30. Now these are like two equations. So focus on this first equation. You will get T steel in terms of W. So tension in steel wire is 0.732 W. Now use this second equation here and get T copper in terms of W. So T copper in terms of W is 0.897 W. Okay. So we have found out under this load W how much will be the tension in steel wire, and that will be 0.732 W. And how much is tension in this copper wire, and that is 0.879 W. Okay. Now let's proceed. Stress is P by A. We are going to use this formula for these two materials separately. That is, stress in steel is load on steel, that is nothing but tension in the steel divided by cross-sectional area of steel. Similarly, stress in copper, that is load on copper divided by cross-sectional area of the copper. This is load on steel and this is load on copper. It is tensile load. Okay, let's proceed. So P is equal to sigma into A. In this case, we want to find load. Safe load. So you must know what is safe stress. So safe stress into the area, that is safe load on the wire. So safe load on steel is safe stress on steel into cross-sectional area of steel. So we have substituted value of load on steel as 0.732 W. And safe stress in steel is, watch here, 130 megapascal. So substitute the values and you have found out load W, and it is 1255 Newton. So what does this mean? If you hang load W here, which is 1255 Newton, 1255 Newton, stress in steel will reach this value 130 megapascal, and that is maximum permissible stress in steel. So load suspended here must not exceed this value. So this is maximum permissible load we have found out. But wait, this maximum permissible load which you have found out using this condition, that is stress in steel must not exceed 130 megapascal. But there is one more condition given, that is stress in copper wire must not exceed 95 megapascal. So let's continue. Safe load on copper, that is equal to safe stress on copper into cross-sectional area of copper. So safe load on copper. So this load on copper must not exceed a certain value. So substitute here 0.897 W. That is equal to safe stress in copper and cross-sectional area of copper. So we got the answer. Weight W is equal to 2079 Newton. Now comparing the two values, this value of load W 1255 Newton and this value of load W 2079 Newton. Comparing the two values of W, maximum load that can be suspended is 1255 Newton. Now here all of you try to understand. Maximum load that can be suspended. Here we have found out load W as 2079 Newton. This value of load W we have found out using the condition that stress in copper must not exceed 95 megapascal. So if we hang load 2079 Newton here, stress in the copper wire will be 95 megapascal, which is of course maximum permissible load. So up to 95 it is permissible. So you can say that this is safe load for copper wire. But try to understand. At this load 2079, stress in steel will certainly exceed 130 megapascal, and that is not allowed. Because when load is 1255 Newton, stress in steel reaches its permissible value. So of course, if you hang load 2000 Newton, stress in steel will exceed 130 megapascal, and that is not allowed. So using these given two conditions, we have found out two values of loads W, and we want to select safe load in this arrangement. So safe load is smaller of the two values. So don't get carried away by this word maximum. Maximum doesn't mean that larger of the two values. Remember, it's common sense. When using different conditions, we find out different loads in particular system, different load values in particular system. You should select smaller value as safe load. So smaller the load, it will be the safer. Common sense. So which is the safe load here? It's 1255 Newton. Comparing the two values of load W, maximum load that can be supported is smaller of the two, that is 1255 Newton. So what you have studied in this problem? Listen, to find a safe load in a system, when you use more than one conditions, you get more than one values for that particular load. Real safe load is smallest of all those values. Smallest of all those values of load. So when you select safe load, you should select smallest value of load. Read this problem. A bronze tube of external diameter 50 millimeters and internal diameter 30 millimeters has length 20 centimeter. If maximum allowable stress in bronze is 110 megapascal and decrease in length must be limited to 0.2 millimeters, then find maximum permissible axial compressive load on the tube. Modulus of elasticity of bronze is 83 GPa, nothing but 83 into 10 raised to 3 MPa. There are two conditions involved and we are asked to find permissible compressive load. Which are the two conditions here? Check here. Maximum allowable stress in bronze is 110 megapascal. Stress in bronze must not exceed 110 megapascal. This is first condition. And decrease in length must be limited to 0.2 millimeters. Length of this rod must not reduce more than 0.2 millimeter. So these are the two conditions. Maximum permissible stress and maximum permissible deformation. So using these two conditions, we'll get two values of compressive loads and we'll select smaller of the two as maximum permissible load. That is what we studied in the last problem also. Now let's continue. First, to find safe load, we are going to use safe stress. We should find first cross-sectional area. So this is how that tube is. Applied load P, there will be reaction from floor and it is in compression. This is two-dimensional diagram of the tube. It is compressive, load acting on the tube. Cross-sectional area, pi by 4, outer diameter squared minus inner diameter squared. Young's modulus, 0.83 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter square. Stress is load upon area. When you use safe stress, that is maximum permissible stress, also called working stress. When you substitute here maximum permissible stress, you get maximum permissible load on the member. So it is 110 megapascal permissible stress. Substitute and we have found out the answer. So it is 138.2 kilonewton. Okay, but immediately don't say that this is safe load or maximum permissible load. This load creates stress 110 megapascal. It is maximum permissible stress. So up to this stress it is allowed. That means this load is allowed. But we have found out this load using only one condition. That is stress must not exceed 110. But there is one more condition given in the problem, that deformation must not exceed 0.2 millimeters. So for this particular, what is that load which creates this deformation? Let's find out. Deformation load relation is this. Delta is PL by EA. Substitute the values and complete the calculations and we have found out here 104.3 kilonewton. So this load 104 kilonewton creates 0.2 millimeter deformation. So load greater than this value 104 kilonewton will create deformation, of course more than 0.2 millimeters. So we must not allow load more than 104 kilonewton. So remember, as I told you in the last problem, when you use two different conditions to find the safe load in the system, smaller of the two answers is the correct answer. That is permissible safe load. So when you select safe load, you must select smaller value. Remember this. So write the answer properly. Comparing the two values of loads, maximum load that can be supported is 104.3 kilonewton. So we have answered the question. Find maximum permissible axial compressive load on the tube. It is 104.3 kilonewton. Now read this problem. A steel tube of external diameter 1.5 times internal diameter has length 20 centimeter. If maximum allowable compressive stress in steel is 150 megapascal and decrease in length must be limited to 0.2 millimeters, then find external and internal diameter of the tube to carry 200 kilonewton axial compressive load. Modulus of elasticity of steel is 2 into 10 raised to 4 kilonewton per centimeter squared. So 2 into 10 raised to 4 kilonewton per centimeter squared, nothing but 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter squared. Okay, take care of units while solving the problem. Now check here once again. There are two conditions are given. Allowable compressive stress, that is stress must not exceed 150 megapascal, and allowable deformation, that is deformation must not exceed 0.2 millimeters. This much deformation can be allowed maximum. It should not exceed 0.2 millimeters. Okay. Now this is third type of problem. Try to understand what I am saying. Load given and under given load on given member we find stress. That is the first problem we solved. Last 2 or 3 problems we solved, if you remember, we found out safe load knowing safe stress. So when you know safe stress, in that case only you can find safe load. In this problem, safe stress is given and here load is also known. What should be cross-sectional area of this member to carry 200 kilonewton load? So we are deciding now on dimensions of the member, dimensions of the cross-sectional area. This is called a design problem. So member is not ready yet. What we know is this member should carry 200 kilonewton and we cannot allow deformation 0.2 millimeters and we cannot allow stress more than 150 megapascal. This is design problem. We are designing cross section of this member. Okay, let's proceed. This cross sectional area. Outer diameter, we don't know, but it's clearly mentioned that is external diameter is 1.5 times internal diameter. So external diameter DO, we have mentioned here 1.5 times internal diameter. And that is why we got this value of cross-sectional area in terms of internal diameter in millimeters squared, of course. We are using values in millimeter. So diameter is in millimeter. Okay, let's proceed. Length is 200 millimeter. Load is in Newton, 2 into 10 raised to 5. It's given here. 200,000 Newton. So 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton. And Young's modulus, 2 into 10 raised to 4 kilonewton per centimeter it's given. We should use unit Newton per millimeter squared. So take care of this. Okay, let's proceed. Stress is load upon cross-sectional area. Now here load is known. Safe stress, when you substitute here, you get safe area. So let's proceed. So 150, that is stress. Permissible stress it is. Load 2 into 10 raised to 5. And cross-sectional area. And we found out the answer. So all of you immediately do the calculations. Calculation practice is very important. Okay, let's proceed. This is internal diameter. So when you know internal diameter, you can find external diameter also. Because external diameter is 1.5 times internal diameter. One more condition is there, deformation must not exceed 0.2 millimeters. So what is that relation between load and deformation? Delta is PL by EA. So deformation is 0.2 millimeters. Put values 2 into 10 raised to 5, that is the load. 200 millimeters, that is length. Young's modulus 2 into 10 raised to 5. And cross-sectional area, this value in terms of DI. So in this equation again there is only one unknown, DI. So complete the calculations and you will get DI, internal diameter. Next, internal diameter is going to give you external diameter. If we use diameter 31.91, so here denominator will reduce, and when denominator will reduce, stress will increase. So this value is not allowed. Remember, this value is not allowed. This we can allow, because if you use this value here, so you will get stress 150 obviously, because using the same equation we have found out this value. 150 is safe stress. Now if you use internal diameter 36.85, then try to understand. Here this D, when you put 36.85 here, denominator will increase. If denominator increases, this value will decrease. So of course it is allowed. Less than 0.2 millimeters, it is safe. More than 0.2 millimeters deformation is not allowed. So this is accepted value of internal diameter. So comparing the two values of the required internal diameter is 36.85 millimeters. So outer diameter is 55.28 millimeters.
Thank you for watching the video. If you are satisfied with the video, please like the video, subscribe my channel for many more such videos, and if you are really interested in entire course of strengths of materials, then let me know on this email ID. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.